how I got to be Trelise Cooper was in my early 20s. I was on the edges of fashion and I really had a burning desire to be right in the midst of it. I don't feel like I had the traditional growing up with making clothes for my dolls, but I did have a dress-up box that my girlfriends and I every day after school would get into, and it had big 50s dresses, lots of colour, lots of texture, jewels. So I spent my childhood dressing up, and I guess I've spent my adulthood dressing up. So my food memories as a child growing up in the 60s were of food that came from the supermarket, and that was unusual because most people, they baked and they preserved, and for my father, who'd come from a poor background and was his own boss, he really wanted to show that he could afford to buy food from the supermarket. So we had canned goods and we had packet biscuits, bought biscuits, and we were very unusual in the neighbourhood. All the kids would come round and get biscuits from us because they were bought. One of the dishes I really hated and I really disliked it even when I could smell it cooking was my father loved tripe and onions. And so my mother would make tripe and onions on a regular basis for him, but I really disliked it and I disliked the smell. I travel a lot and we have a home in the southwest of France, and I love that because I love the seasonality of the produce. I love being able to go to the farmer's market and buy whatever is fresh and cook it back at home. And the region that we live in has amazing produce. It has all the duck, the foie gras, the truffles, walnuts. So I feel very lucky. But what I know about that region is it's very traditional and very conservative. And I love to have my French neighbours in for a big long table in the garden, but I like to kind of extend their palate a bit, which is unusual because they're very, very closed to new flavours. So I often pop a little bit of coriander in, which freaks them out, and I like to cook different styles. Moroccan, which I think the messy carrot salad is kind of has Moroccan flavours. And I like Mediterranean food, and I like to do Asian every now and again, a curry, something like that. I have to say my guilty pleasure is ice cream. I love ice cream. I try not to have it in my house, and if I do have it in my house, I put it in the basement freezer, so I have to go down 3 floors to get it. But my guilty pleasure is ice cream, and I really love different flavoured ice cream. So I believe that Lewis Road Creamery is now doing rose. I can't wait to try that. But I like licorice ice cream, I like lavender ice cream, violet ice cream, Turkish Delight chopped into ice cream, and Earl Grey ice cream as well. So I like ice cream with kind of perfumed, fragrant kind of flavours. At the Cooper's house these days, Jack Cooper cooks. It wasn't always that way, and I loved being the mother in the kitchen, and my favourite place actually is to be in the kitchen creating. I'm a messy, a bit of this and a bit of that cook. I don't measure things. I can bake, but it's never really greatly successful for those reasons because I don't focus enough. I burn a lot as well because I'm always doing too many things at once. But Jack took over the cooking because I got too busy, and as he retired he had more time, but he hadn't actually cooked a lot before that, and we would have a formula of kind of Wednesdays it would be schnitzel and coleslaw. So anyway, he's got way more exotic. He now reads recipes on all recipes on the internet, and I can come home to some really exotic and delicious dinners. And we have a beach house up at Lee in the north of Auckland, and I love to go there, and that's my cooking place. That's where I cook and entertain, and I love it.